He doesn't smash buildings, summon lightning, or fly through spaceships, but Doctor Strange might quietly be on his way to becoming the most powerful hero in the MCU. In the comics, more often than not, Doctor Strange is the man behind the curtain if the man behind the curtain was also a powerful sorcerer. While the rest of the heroes charge into threats, when reality itself is threatened, the Sorcerer Supreme is on everyone's speed dial. As the MCU moves ahead, we might see Doctor Strange's mastery of the mystic arts put him on the top of the power list for the good guys. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has no shortage of heavy hitters. After Tony Stark outed himself as Iron Man and kickstarted the MCU, the next two heroes to join were heroes whose strength doesn't have an upper limit. The Hulk starts strong and gets stronger the angrier he gets. And anger is really what the Hulk does best. The other hero to join the MCU along with the Hulk is the mighty Thor. While Thor can't get a boost from his anger, he is part of the Norse pantheon and can call upon the powers inherent in being an Odin son. Thanks to the convention of comics that insists that whenever heroes meet for the first time they have to fight, we know that Thor and the Hulk are more than a match for each other. And to make the waters even muddier though is two things. Strength isn't the only measure of power. Powers flux and change. For Kevin Feige, the frontrunners are Wanda Maximoff and Carol Danvers, the Scarlet Witch and Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel went from test pilot to Kree soldier to guided missile. Vision was the final blow when it came to Ultron, and the only reason that he wasn't the game changer against Thanos has to do with where his power comes from. And it's something he shares with both Captain Marvel and Wanda. Wanda has perhaps the most ill-defined power in the MCU. Just like in the comics, where she went from being able to manipulate luck to be on her side to at one point being the Nexus being, Wanda's powers have evolved and are set to evolve even more. While we still have to wait for WandaVision to stream on Disney+, we do know that she's going to be pulling out all the reality warping stops to bring her boyfriend back to life. These powerful heroes in the MCU were all powered by the essential elements of the universe. Who else had an Infinity Stone? Doctor Strange. Unlike the other Infinity heroes, Doctor Strange's power comes from his particular gift at learning complicated things and fine movements that made him a world-class surgeon. In the course of those studies, he happened across the Eye of Agamotto, which in the MCU housed the Time Stone. Doctor Strange got some serious mileage out of the Time Stone before Thanos went and added it to his collection and then vanished the whole darn thing. In fact, it might be the way that Doctor Strange used that Time Stone that indicates that he's on the path to becoming the powerful hero he is in the comics. While his first trial run through the Time Stone was to uneat an apple, his next few actions with the Time Stone were more dramatic. First, he used it to undestroy one of the Sanctorums, an act that displeased Mordo. Then he used it to stick Dormammu in a time loop, forcing him to bargain or spend an eternity killing Doctor Strange over and over and over again. An act that made Mordo think the world had way too many sorcerers. Just how long did Doctor Strange spend tormenting Dormammu? Even though he only had a few moments each time before Dormammu swatted him, it's still time for someone as disciplined and practiced as Doctor Strange to practice his skills. And don't forget there's another time Strange messed with time via the Time Stone, and that was Infinity War. Preparing to face down Thanos, Doctor Strange looked into over 14 million possible futures to find the one where they beat Thanos. Eventually, after Thanos did a whole lot more winning. To appreciate what all that extra time could mean for the master of the mystical arts, you have to look at how far he's come in a short period of time. We know that when Smart Hulk goes back to the past to the Battle of New York to get the Time Stone for Doctor Strange, the Ancient One tells him that he's 5 years too early. The good doctor is performing surgery across town. In that time, he went from magic is nonsense and having trouble opening his sling ring to messing with Loki in around 5 years. And Loki is no slouch. Hundreds of years old and learned magic from his Asgardian mom. Loki's magic has managed to convince even Asgardians that he's died multiple times, and that he was Odin. In the first Doctor Strange movie, he explains why this is something he can do. It's the same way he became a world-class surgeon, of very good memory and rigorous study and practice. Strange's 2 trips through time provided the chance to practice and learn. Even better, if you get 14 million or more glimpses at your own future, you can get a pretty good idea what you're good at and what you're just awful at. Aside from all that cool look into the future and really knowing how your friends think, you get almost a scientific study on what you need to work on, which for a man like Strange is valuable information. But the stone is not the source of Doctor Strange's power, or the Ancient One. For them, some items are totems that let them focus the energy of the dimension they're trying to draw power from. This could mean that a time stoneless Doctor Strange could still mess with time, but not set it to rewind or put Dormammu in a time loop, but some time manipulation. Doctor Strange wouldn't be the only one to take advantage of weird pockets of time. In the quantum realm, Janet Van Dyne made use of her odd sense of time to learn quantum realm powers. Scott Lang spent 5 hours in the quantum realm contemplating Hot Tub Time Machine before popping out 5 years later. There is a more direct comparison, but if you're not caught up on the series finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you might want to skip ahead about 20 seconds. Fitz and Simmons spent enough time out of time to figure out how to save the day and give birth to an adorable little time baby. I wonder how they'll decide on when her birthday will be, or even how old she is. Even though Strange doesn't use the quantum realm to mess with time, it's a way characters have used to develop expertise in the MCU. But okay, I hear you saying, yeah, but the Time Stone is gone. And it's not like the Cloak of Levitation that just makes one power easier to access. It's a core element of the universe. You might be freaked out a little bit that I heard you say that. Don't be. It was just a guess. So maybe all of Strange's dalliances with dinking with time weren't enough, and understandably, he was busy doing something else important. There are events on the horizon that indicate that his power could reach some incredible heights. And that has to do with how the Ancient One explains magic. Essentially, they're borrowing and manipulating energy from other universes or realities. Well, the next Doctor Strange movie is called The Multiverse of Madness. One of Strange's oldest enemies, Nightmare, is likely to play a role. The movie's switched directors, and while Feige has tried to downplay the second Strange movie being a horror movie, the director they got was horror movie legend Sam Raimi. The movie will be influenced on the events of WandaVision, where Wanda Maximoff will be ripping apart reality to get her vision back. In the comics, the Scarlet Witch has taken it upon herself to rewrite reality to suit her needs. One of the first people they called when she started that? Doctor Strange, who took it upon himself to teach her how to use her immense power. The MCU has done a pretty good job of being inspired by notable arcs, but fitting them into the cinematic universe. If Wanda's desire to have a happily ever after with the world's chillest android, he wore a sweater vest to a superhero meeting, rips the multiverse apart, all that power that Strange manipulates itself will rip apart with it. That could mean that he's not taking tiny sips from the multiverse, but gigantic gulps. This would mean that Wanda and Strange would be racing to the top in terms of who's the most powerful hero in the MCU, as her power to pull the universe apart and Strange channels that energy to put it back together again. Whether it means time spent out of time or a multiverse cranked up to 11, Doctor Strange could be the powerhouse of the MCU. What do you think? Is Strange set to be the biggest superpower? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to CBR for the latest videos in your inbox of any universe you're in.